Okay, so first of all, great question. What is the treatment? If the treatment for neurodivergent burnout is not the same as the treatment for neurotypical depression, what's the treatment? Important to know that the person in front of you that's determining what the treatment is determines that treatment based on what they think the cause of what you're suffering as a human being is, right? Secondly, it's really important for you to know that now what we decide the treatment for neurodivergent burnout is coming directly from the neurodivergent community. So the research papers are informed mostly by your experience. So I'm just going to tell you this. All right, so neurodivergent burnout is caused by living in a world that exhausts you, right? Because it doesn't accommodate you. So striving to meet expectations that do not take your neurotype into consideration. That's how I would summarize it. And essentially, the stress of that causes burnout. This is how I understand it. And so the treatment for that is to rest your nervous system and disconnect from the stress. And that may not be what is desired, right? Like people don't want to do that and may feel like they cannot do that, but that is the only solution for being under this severe, the only way that I can think of it is just trauma, right, to your nervous system. So you need to disconnect from that and you need to rest. You need to be around people who make you feel good about yourself. You need to be able to unmask. You need to be able to have like a sensory break so your senses are not constantly inundated and bombarded. You need to be able to stim. This is something else that has been suggested by the community. Like stimming is important to getting back your sense of self. You need to be able to be yourself as much as possible. And if we're talking about the workplace, you have to have ideally not working for quite a while, but certainly a reduced load and in an environment that you feel safe and you feel like you can rest. You need to be able to engage in your special interests when you feel you're able to, right? So fulfilling activities, things that maybe you've been discouraged from doing in the past, like reconnecting to those communities of people that also have those special interests that you do. So these things that fill you up, that make you feel connected, that are good for you as a neurodivergent person, these are the things that start to make you whole and healthy again. Likely the things that you masked and have been hidden from you and that you hid from the world. So this is part of healing from burnout. Now, the other side of this is when you start to reemerge, when you start to feel whole and healthy again, or maybe whole for the first time in a long time, you cannot re-enter the world again that you disconnected from, right? You can't go back into the world in the same way. Masked, a world that asks you to be stressed and hide yourself, and that's going to lead to sickness and illness again. So things have to change, and they have to change in as many ways as you can change them, right? So you have to have perhaps less stressful work or a different work environment. You have to have time for yourself and your special interests. You have to be able to give yourself permission to be who you are, and be supported by the people around you to do that. Like you need as much support as possible. And so going right back into the life that you left from is going to make you ill again. And so this is all the treatment, right, for neurodivergent burnout. And perhaps it could be said that treatment for neurotypical depression could benefit in some ways in this world from some of these suggestions as well, I would suggest. But it is different from CBT for depression, which is the gold standard treatment as we speak for neurotypical people. So those are some of the ideas currently in the literature, again, which is not very big, for healing from neurodivergent burnout.